Faithful follower Jeremy from Colorado asked for more audiobook recs. I hear you, my friend, and here I come. These are the top 20 longest audiobook series I've enjoyed and can actually recommend. Welcome to Fantasy for the Ages, the show where a father and son talk about fantasy, science fiction, horror, and other nerdy things that we enjoy. I'm Jim, the father of this channel, and I hope you'll take a look at everything that's here because we got a lot to entertain you with. If today's episode is one of those things, be sure to give us a like and subscribe because you want to be here. So, audiobooks, they have transformed my life. I'm listening to audiobooks on drives, when I exercise, when I'm doing chores around the house. I don't want my wife to help with my cooking because I just want to zone out listening to a good audiobook while I chop up the veggies and fry up the steak. There's so much out there to consume in science fiction, fantasy, and horror, and I can't read it all physically. There's just not enough time in the day. Audiobooks make all the difference. So I am consuming so much more that way. Today, I'm going to give you the top 20 by hours of series that I've listened all the way through and totally enjoyed. Things that took me away to other worlds, other experiences, vast, epic adventures, all through my ears. In some cases, I've also read these, with my eyes, but most of them I've only done by audio. They're all across the spectrum of science fiction, fantasy, and even adjacent, because yes, zombie apocalypse slips its way into this list. In each case, I'll tell you how many hours it takes to get through all of the books of these series, but that's like me, old man, at 1.0 speed. I know, some of you are 1.5, 1.75, 2.25? Crazy. I just can't do that. I like to experience an audiobook the way it was produced. But you be you. But these hours are listed the way I be me. I'm not ranking these by quality. Again, they're just lots of different types of books, and you get to decide what you're going to enjoy. But I enjoyed all of these. And let's get to the list. Number 20, from the bottom, so the shortest of my 20 long series, is simply a trilogy. The Broken Empire trilogy by Mark Lawrence. 36 hours in length, a wonderful grimdark trilogy, my introduction to Mark Lawrence's writing, and I'm hooked on him ever since. Number 19, the Infected series by Joseph Zuko. There's 8 books in this series, and it'll take you 51 hours to get through them. Now think about that, 8 books, only 51 hours? None of them are particularly long. Part of what I enjoy about this zombie apocalypse series is it's set right frickin' here in the city I live in, Vancouver, Washington. Some of it's in Portland and some of it's up in Battleground, adjoining communities, but it's right here, and that made it extra fun. Number 18, the Book of the Ancestor trilogy by Mark Lawrence again. 57 hours for this one, so a little chunkier than his Broken Empire trilogy. Nona and those nun assassins. Again, grimdark fantasy, but a totally different spin on it, and you're looking at kind of a Harry Potter type thing, except these are all girls. They're in a convent, and they're being trained to be killers and poisoners and spies. It's fascinating, but it also has adult version and kid version kind of interwoven. It's a delightful read. Check out the Book of the Ancestor. It's also a little sci-fi. You'll have to read it to find out what I'm talking about. Number 17 is the Witcher series by Andrzej Sapkowski, written in Polish, translated to English. Yes, the video games are based on this. Yes, the Netflix TV series is based on this. And the entire book series, 80 hours. Delightful, mostly. The last book in the series is a whole bunch of short story collections that are totally out of order with the rest of the series, and I didn't need it, but everything else was fun. Number 16, The Kingkiller Chronicle by Patrick Rothfuss. Now that's book 1 and book 2 of a trilogy where book 3 may never exist, but book 1 and book 2 are good enough. Who cares? You want them. But this also includes the 2 novellas that have come out. that are partners, add little bits of flavor and additional insights into the King Killer Chronicle. 81 hours if you do it all, because those two novels are chunkers and really quite good. Some of the most beautiful prose you will ever enjoy in epic fantasy. Number 15, The Axe of Cain. 4 books by Matthew Stover, 95 hours. This is a real mashup series. We've got episodes out on these. It's fantasy, it's sci-fi, it's grimdark, it's very dark, and it's deep, yet still consumable as an audiobook. Number 14, The Extinction Cycle and The Extinction Cycle Dark Age by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. This is apocalyptic, not zombie apocalypse. What happens is really something totally different and yet a similar vibe. Okay, very science fiction, military style, a little bit of horror element in here. So the Extinction Cycle and its direct sequel, the Extinction Cycle Dark Age, all worthwhile. You will just churn right through these delightful characters, lots of action, 100 hours of listening time. There is more content by another author that's related to this world. It's set in the same world, but different characters. I did not include that in there, but you could check those out too. Find them. You'll find them. Number 13, Rhaenyra Revelations and Rhaenyra Chronicles by Michael J. Sullivan. Also 100 hours of listening time at this point. Rhaenyra Revelations is 6 books, usually published as 3 books. And then Rhaenyra Chronicles are prequel novels to Rhaenyra Revelations, and they are still being written, both novels and novellas. So this listening time is going to get longer. There is more in this world, this fantasy world that Michael J. Sullivan has written. You can go on, but this is the core of the Rhaenyra books, which I read quite some time ago, and they are really great classic fantasy, a lot of fun. Royce and Hadrian are 2 amazing characters you will enjoy meeting, and you'll enjoy all 100 hours. Number 12, the Undead World Series. Not the Undead World Series. The Undead World, a series by Peter Meredith, and its sequel series, Generation Z. 120 hours to go through all of this, and yes, this is staunchly zombie apocalypse. Just like the best of zombie apocalypse, it's really about the people, not about the dead people. A lot of drama, a lot of action, a lot of tension, and definitely some heartache as you work through this series. Oh my goodness, when you meet the character Jillybean, the most adorable, and then in the sequel series, something else. Fantastic. One of the best zombie apocalypse series I've enjoyed for what the plot does, where the author takes it. And book after book after book, very readable. So again, 120 hours of goodness, of zombie apocalypse goodness. Number 11, let's go back to epic fantasy with a trilogy, Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn by Tad Williams, a series I just recently finished. Now think about this. I've got The Undead World and Generation Z, 2 separate series, lots of books, 120 hours, but Memory, Sorrow, Thorn is 3 books, also 120 hours. These are some big old chunkin' epic fantasy books, particularly the last one, which ought to be 2 books. This really should be a quartet. And yet, wow, what a great story. Simon and all the others around him in the world of Austenard. Worthy and an enjoyable audiobook ride. Number 10. Okay, we're to the 10 biggest now. We start with the Arisen series by Michael Stephen Fuchs. There is another author with him. James is his last name. I didn't write it down in my notes, but Michael Stephen Fuchs writes all of them. The other guy only writes some of them with him, co-writes. This is a military-style zombie apocalypse adventure story that just goes. You never stop to rest in this series. Book after book after book after book. It's so intense. which is great for an audiobook series because you never get bored. 130 hours in the Arisen series. Number 9, the Helldivers series by Nicholas Sansbury Smith. That's an author who already appeared further down the list because he writes series that go on and on and on sometimes. The Helldivers series is now a complete series, but he's writing additional books in this world, kind of filling in things about characters you met along the way, giving more color to the series because people just love this world. This is dystopian science fiction with a military bend. Not heavily military, but you'll see what I mean when you check it out. There's 144 hours in the core series to enjoy in Helldivers, and they are working to adapt this to film or TV. I don't know when it's going to come out, but it's in process and it's going to be freaking awesome. Number 8, the Dark Tower series by Stephen King, which is 145 hours. This is 7 hefty books of dark epic fantasy, sci-fi, western mashup, starting with the gunslinger and ending with the Dark Tower. There is also a novella and a short story kind of squeezed into the middle of all of this. And when you put it all together, 145 hours. So just 1 hour more than the Helldiver series, but only 7 books. The Gunslinger is not very long, but the rest of them are pretty big. Number 7, Mistborn, Era 1 and Era 2 by Brandon Sanderson. So you got 3 books in the original trilogy and 4 books in the second era. He's going to write more Mistborn, but right now you've got 149 hours of audio listening to enjoy. And Mistborn is a great one to reread. I read it with my eyes first, then I redid it on audio, and it just opened up. It was fantastic. I imagine going through it the first time on audio will still be quite good. Number 6, The Remaining, and its sequel, Lee Harden series by DJ Molay, 150 hours. Zombie apocalypse again, sort of. There's actually no zombies in here, but there's a plague that happens to the world, turns people into something similar to zombies in their impact on the world around them. It doesn't actually kill them. It returns them to a baser, primal state where all they want to do is eat you. So that's kind of like zombies then. And wow, tense, dangerous, a great plot premise at the beginning of it, where you get to meet Lee Harden, and he's a character you're going to follow along all through the series and really enjoy. A lot of tension, some great characters, wonderful plot twists all the way through, and you get 150 hours of audio enjoyment going through this series. Both of them. They directly connect. Number 5, the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. Space opera. We're talking sci-fi here with a fantasy leaning. There will be 7 books in the Red Rising series, but we don't have that last one yet. We're all waiting for the conclusion of this series, but the 6 we have out now span 150 hours of listening time. So get into it, dive in, enjoy this great series, and then be like the rest of us, waiting on author Pierce Brown to come on in with the epic conclusion. It'll be worth it. Number 4, the First Law series by Joe Abercrombie. Grimdark fantasy, 9 books. There's an opening trilogy, there's 3 standalone novels, and then there's a final trilogy to wrap it all up. There's a short story collection too, but I'm not counting that in here. I'm just counting the 9 books, but that's 205 hours of amazing grimdark goodness. Can I say grimdark and goodness at the same time? I'm not sure, but I just did. I love Joe Abercrombie's style here. It's really engaging, entertaining, great characters, wonderful plots that suck you in, just fascinating, and again, great audio listening. My 3rd longest is the most contentious for me, The Stormlight Archive by Brandon Sanderson. I'm including the 5 novels that complete the first arc of the Stormlight Archive, and Edge Dancer, which is a key novella that fits in the midst of that. 303 hours, a big leap up from First Law series. And again, only 5 books and a novella. Why it's contentious is I struggled with book 1 to get into it, and you might too if you haven't read it before. Plus, the Stormlight Archive makes best sense if you've read all the other Cosmere books. There's a lot of those, so it's hard to really fully enjoy it if all you do is the Stormlight Archive. So it's a bit of a commitment. And then the biggest is book 5, Wind and Truth, really didn't do it for me. There were some parts of the book I enjoyed. There were some parts of the book that really felt like a letdown. And where it left us for the series, I'm like, meh. I will not do the Stormlight Archive again. And in fact, I'm not doing a lot of Brandon Sanderson these days anymore. I'm kind of like, nah, I might be done with him. That's what Wind and Truth did for me. Not everybody feels that way. Nevertheless, I've invested 303 hours of listening time into the Stormlight Archive, and you might want to check it out. Number 2 is something I have no issue touting here, the Zombie Fallout series by Mark Tufo. In this, I'm also including his novellas in the series, his Timothy trilogy, which is directly related, and his 5-book The Book of Riley series. All told, 304 hours, just edging out the Stormlight Archive by 1 hour. But, there's like 24 books in the core series of Zombie Fallout now, and he is still writing these. None of the books are super long. They are all very entertaining if you get his humor, which I do. Others will say, wow, this is extremely juvenile. Okay, then these aren't for you. But if you like it, there's a lot to like. And I've done them all as audiobooks. They've been great for me. But finally, number 1 shouldn't be a shock if you know me at all, if you know this channel, The Wheel of Time by Robert Jordan, with the last 3 novels finished up with the help of Brandon Sanderson. 575 hours. That includes the prequel, New Spring. It's not even close to anything else I've done. I have not listened to anything else this epic, this long. The Wheel of Time I read first multiple times before then doing them on audio. I know people who have only done them on audio and never physically read them, and that's fine, and it works for them. But as a reread, The Wheel of Time was amazing. I thoroughly enjoyed the audiobook narration by Michael Kramer and Kate Redding. They brought it to life, even when in some of the earlier books, they're mispronouncing things. Totally, they're mispronouncing things. They fix it in later books. There's just so many fantasy words. Because, again, 575 hours, people. All right, those are my top 20 in hours that I can recommend to you. Are there other epically long science fiction, fantasy, or even horror audio reads that you would recommend? Put them in the comments. Let's add to this list. And if you have anything to say about the ones I have put on here, you adored them, wow, you didn't enjoy them, whatever it is, use the comment box. I love to see comments, and I do respond. Also, look in the show notes for other ways you can interact with my son Zach and I. Our Discord server, there's an invitation to join us there. Social media links, even our email. And we have a link to our Patreon page. Thank you, patrons over there on Patreon, for sponsoring our channel. We appreciate the support. Okay, thanks for being here. We'll talk to you next time.